Hey guys, it is I, Kuroninja, and the first round of the 2025 Best in the Multiverse tournament has ended. Before we get into the results though, I'd like to talk about a few things. First off, all these competitors were chosen randomly from spinning a wheel with a list of hundreds of names, so if I ever show signs of disdain, just know that I was not the one who put them in the tournament, it was the wheel. Second, some of the matches ended in a tie, but there has to be a winner. So if the results are 50-50, I will decide the winner myself with an emergency vote. Now with that out of the way, let's see who made it to the next round. Starting off with the first quarter, the matchup between Kamen Rider Shibaki Maru and Clockwork Clone Ninja ended in a tie. So I've decided that it will be Kamen Rider Shibaki Maru who moves on to the next round. Kikyo Kosaka, a friend of Takaharu, was up against a Vargloth, a creature from the nature dimension. If this was a test of strength, she probably would have lost, but she didn't because this is a popularity contest. Now this next matchup's results confounded me because I know that a lot of OCs have a big disadvantage against canon characters who are more established. How did Gyaru 3 from Space Sheriff Scheider lose to Anti-Shiro Ninja, who doesn't even have anything to do with Anti-Kuroninja? Speaking of OCs, two of them went against each other and they were Satomi, a ninja of life who judges people based on if they like soft serve ice cream, and Rei Shirasaka, a chaotic evil sorcerer who is on a hero's team. The winner of this matchup was Rei Shirasaka. In the match between Ao Ninja and Yodonna, it was Ao Ninja who moved on. Meanwhile, Tombo Oger went up against Kuroninja 2, who is no match for his opponent even with the Black Dragon Orb on his side. Washi Pink was up against Butterfly Ninja Benny Kiba, and this matchup was interesting because both of these competitors appeared in Space Squad. They didn't appear in the same movie though, and in this matchup, it was Washi Pink who came out on top. Lastly, it was Lupin Yellow against the Kuroninja of Earth 87 and 1/3 of MSH, Hana no Kuroninja. Lupin Yellow won, and I'm glad she did, because the two of us have been together since January 2018. Up next, we got the second quarter. First off was Mitsuya the Magician, one of the Emerald Club members who got chosen for this tournament, going up against Rouletta, a member of the Flush Syndicate with the power to hypnotize people and spin around really fast. With the power of the Rouletta fan club on her side, Rouletta has defeated Mitsuya to move on to the next round. Another OC who made it was Nightshade, who went up against Patren Nigo in a matchup that ended in a draw. Now I'm glad that Lupin Yellow and Patren Nigo aren't in the same quarter. I didn't want to take any chances and risk them meeting in the semifinals, so I've decided to give Nightshade the win. Genba Bureki, also known as Boone Orange, was someone I thought would make it far in the tournament even if he didn't win. Unfortunately for him, his first round opponent was Shinken Red, who was more popular than him. Akuma no Kuroninja, the most evil Kuroninja in the multiverse, and the antagonist of my 5-year anniversary special, had it easier, with his opponent being the Umika Hayami of Earth 7, who transforms into one of the two Kuroninjas of that universe. This match could have gone either way, but Akuma no Kuroninja walked away with the victory according to my decision. Dark Kuroninja versus Kamen Rider Build was the most interesting match, but it was also very one-sided. I found out that this fight got picked up by the algorithm, and that's why Kamen Rider Build has a lot of fans. Even without that boost though, I still think he would have won against Dark Kuroninja. Ninja Red also got a decisive victory over his opponent, even though it wasn't as much as Build. He went up against Light Ninja, who recently made an appearance in Kuroninja Engaged. Next was a matchup between two flower-themed rangers, the Queen of Ishabana, Kamakiri Oger, versus the only member of the Flowery Kunoichi team who got chosen for this tournament, Flower Ninja Suiren. Of course, it was Kamakiri Oger who won, and I think Hibiki no Oja will be pleased. Last but not least, Papillon Oger went up against Ki Ninja, and the winner was Papillon Oger. In the third quarter, Sononi was up against Mark Scorpio, a villain who hasn't been seen in the Kuroninja multiverse for a very long time. Sononi won against him in a landslide. Gokai Blue's match was against Lupin Red. I thought Lupin Red would have a few fans, but Gokai Blue got all the votes. Next up is Gyaru 5 versus Kajiki Yellow. Even though I don't understand why Gyaru 3 lost to Anti-Shiro Ninja, I can understand why Gyaru 5 lost to Kajiki Yellow. Space Sheriff Scheider isn't the most popular of the Space Sheriff trilogy. As for Shinken Gold, he has not appeared in the Kuroninja series at all, and I've still yet to reach his debut in my Shinkenja rewatch. But he got a decisive victory over Rose Red, the leader of the Earth 10 Hana Rangers who have nothing to do with the Flowery Kunoichi team. Zuo Crow versus Selenet Tsukino was an interesting matchup. These two OCs have both been disliked by my fans, but now they were being matched up against each other. I thought Zuo Crow would win, but surprisingly it went completely in the other direction, with Selenet Tsukino getting all the votes. As for Oshi Black, he went up against Jarek, the neutral good member of the Interdimensional Guardians. Oshi Black won the matchup. It'll be interesting to see if he can live up to his name and win this whole thing. Speaking of Oshi Black, his teammate Sasori Orange was up against Sora no Kuroninja, the Kuroninja of Earth Shiina, who is also a member of MSH. Sora no Kuroninja is known for being one of the few characters who could win against me, but that didn't help him against Sasori Orange, who won the contest. And lastly in this quarter, it was Zenkai Juran versus Kuroninja Khan, the Kuroninja of Earth 6996. It was really obvious who would win because Kuroninja Khan is very neutral and has never shown up in the Kuroninja series in a major role. As boring as he is, this matchup was still painful to watch because I have to declare Zenkai Juran the winner. Now for the fourth quarter, I think the most interesting quarter is the fourth quarter because I believe any of these competitors could make it to the final four. Ninja Yellow won against Lilac Magenta in a landslide, which I'm fine with because Kaku Ranger is my favorite season. Mayu Sakuragi, who won the award for Worst Player Character in the 2023 Kuroninja Awards, was paired up against Just Beyond from the Metal Hero series, Kyoju Tokuso Just Beyond. Until this point, I thought my fans hated Metal Heroes, but this match changed my mind because the one who won and moved on to round 2 is Just Beyond. Next was a match between two underrated Sentai Rangers, Kotoha Hanaori, the Yellow Ranger of the Shinkengers, and Flint Goldsweeker, who's had a prominent role in Zenkaiger but only transformed canonically into Tukai Flint during a stage show. Since Tukai Flint only appeared in a stage show, it's no surprise that the one with more votes was Shinken Yellow. Another match was between the fallen angel Reinare, also known as Yuma Amano, one of Hibiki no Oja's favorite anime characters. She went up against Boken Pink, who's skilled at combat and is part of an underrated anniversary season. Boken Pink was the winner of this match, but I don't think Hibiki no Oja's worried that much since Kamakiri Oja advanced to round 2. Next is a matchup between Sonoroku, 1/3 of the Noto Inspectors, and Sea Ninja Triton, de facto leader of the Fishmen. This match could have gone either way, but it was Sea Ninja Triton who came out with the victory, unlike the match between Tamaki and Star Ninja. Tamaki is one of my favorite characters in Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers, but it was clear Star Ninja was gonna win, and he did. In a battle between two Pink Rangers, it was Shinken Pink versus Kiji Brother. Surprisingly, a lot of people voted for Kiji Brother. There wasn't a lot of support for Shinken Pink. And in the last match, Mido Ninja was up against Sayori in this battle between the Green Ranger of the Ninjers and the most controversial addition to the Kuroninja multiverse. It was Sayori who won the contest, joining 31 other competitors. And now it's time to reveal the matchups for round 2. In the first quarter, it will be Kamen Rider Shibaki Maru versus Kikyo Kosaka, Anti-Shiro Ninja versus Rei Shirasaka, Ao Ninja versus Tombo Oger, and Washi Pink versus Lupin Yellow. In the second quarter, it'll be Rouletta versus Nightshade, Shinken Red versus Akuma no Kuroninja, Kamen Rider Build versus Ninja Red, and in a battle between teammates, Kamakiri Oger versus Papillon Oger. In the third quarter, it'll be Sono Ni versus Gokai Blue, Kajiki Yellow versus Shinken Gold, Selenit Tsukino versus Oshi Black, and Sasori Orange versus Zenkai Juran. And in the last quarter, we got Ninja Yellow versus Just Beyond, Shinken Yellow versus Boken Pink, Sea Ninja Triton versus Star Ninja, and Kiji Brother versus Sayori. All of these matches will appear in the community tab quarter by quarter, so keep an eye out. Voting ends on Sunday. Anyway, that is all for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, I have nothing to do with Shiro Ninja.